How's it going, guys? Grimsie42 here, and I have a varied pickup as I typically do. Stuff ranging from local stores that I checked out to even a thrift store find, which is it was a very high and a very low, and I'll explain when I get to it. But anyways, guys, without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, I will start off with that story since I guess it was the last thing I just talked about. I typically don't go to like thrift stores, Salvation Army, Goodwill very often anymore. I used to right when I first started collecting, and even then I noticed that there's just so much competition and the stuff there is usually so picked over and just in horrible condition, and you really don't get good stuff. I know people do have good finds, but for me it just didn't seem like a good use of my time. But occasionally I do like to stop by. And I made a stop into a local Goodwill, and I saw this, and my eyes lit up, and I could not believe it. It had $1.99 price tag on it, which I've since removed. But when I saw this, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And I picked it up, and it was nice and heavy, so I was like, okay, everything's in there. And it is a copy of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. And as you can see, for a GameCube game, this is very, very clean. There is, unfortunately, hopefully I can catch it in the glare, there's a fold right up the back of it, but whatever, it's in really good shape otherwise, I'll live with it. So I open it, and it's got the little insert, some youth soccer Pokemon thing, the health and safety precautions, it's got the manual. Unfortunately, no disc. So I was very, very, very disappointed at that point. It was a huge high and then a huge low, a big letdown. But I took a chance, I brought it up to the counter and I said, you know, ma'am, do you keep the discs behind the desk or anything? And she looked it up, she opened it, and she's like, you know, oh, it's one of them CDs, somebody must have took that, I'm sorry, sir, let me throw that away. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was like, would you just sell me the case? And she was like, I ain't gonna sell you something I'm gonna throw away here. And she threw it at me, so I was like, okay, thank you, ma'am, have a good day. So I took that, and I probably screwed her accent all up. She was just like a typical take no prisoners Goodwill lady, so it's pretty funny. But anyways, guys, the moral of the story is I am on the lookout for a disc only of this, so if anyone has one in like really good shape and they're not trying to get like $1 million for it, shoot me a message on Facebook. My Facebook, as always, is linked below. Just shoot me a message, let me know you have one. Hopefully we can work something out, because I really would like to complete this. It's such a clean copy, it would be a shame to not complete it. Alright guys, continuing on the GameCube trend, I believe this is actually a first-party game. I picked this one up for $3. It looks interesting, and I'm told it's actually somewhat of a hidden gem. It's a copy of Geist for the GameCube, and unfortunately the GameCube pickups have been few and far between lately. You just don't see them very often, and when you do, either the prices suck or the condition sucks or whatever, but I was really happy to get this one on the shelf and into the collection. This next game was just a couple bucks also. I've heard good things about it, and this is the Xbox version, so I would imagine the graphical superiority over the PS2 since the original Xbox was a bit more powerful. It is a copy of The Warriors by Rockstar. So everything looks to be in really good shape. Super happy to get that one in the collection and beef up my Xbox collection, which as of right now is not that impressive. I don't have a Air Force Shields Xbox collection, unfortunately. I probably got 30 or 40 Xbox games. Again, just, you know, I owned one for a brief period of time, but I really don't have a lot of connection with any of the games, so it's a slow, gradual process for me. I'm picking them up little by little. Alright guys, to give you some backstory on a lot of the stuff I'm going to be showing you for the rest of this video, apparently there was a local store, and I talked about it in a few of my previous videos, that I couldn't find. It like didn't exist, but I knew it was somewhere. And I eventually found it, but it was always closed when I went there. Well, it turns out that the owner unfortunately passed away, and another local store of mine actually purchased like all of his stock. So there was a lot of games, and they were actually selling a lot of them at good prices just because they had so much stock now that they had to clear out some space. So I took advantage of it, and I got a lot of good stuff. This first one here is a really, really clean copy of Mark Echo's Getting Up Contents Under Pressure. It's got a cool, I don't know if you can see, like a foiled out cover, and it's really complete. It's got the insert and everything. It literally looks like it was just opened from shrink wrap, and if I'm not mistaken, they said that it was sealed but it was just a lower end title, so they opened it so that it could go out on the floor. So whatever, it's in super good condition. Again, it's probably not something I'm super eager to play, but I mean, you can see it's just so shiny. It's in really, really good shape. Same thing with this next one here. It's called The Great Escape, and it's actually produced by Gotham Games. I wonder if Batman's upset about that, but again, in perfect, like, new condition, really no damage. Carrying on that trend, this one here is Future Tactics Uprising, and it kind of looks like the, what are those games for Nintendo? The Army, it's not Future Tactics, it's something, I think Tactics is even in the title. I don't recall right now, I'll put it under here, I'll figure it out, but it's or Battalion Wars, that's it, Battalion Wars. It just has a similar look, I don't know if just the font of it or something makes me think of Battalion Wars when I see it, but really cool to get this one. Looks like there's a little crack in the plastic, but nothing major, so definitely happy to beef up the PS2 collection. This next one here, I haven't heard much about, but it was like $1, and it looks like kind of a cool puzzle, like a Marble Madness style game. It's Mojo by Crave Entertainment. Last PS2 game in the video is a Atlas title. Looks like a really cool, high quality graphically at least, fighting game, and it's Arcana Heart. Looks really shiny and pretty and stuff. This next one here is a Genesis game. Unfortunately, I believe this one doesn't have a manual, so I guess I eventually will try to track one down for it, and it is a copy of Sonic 3D Blast. But the cartridge is in there, pretty clean, and it has like all the other paperwork that would have came with it in the back, just no manual. So interesting that this one doesn't have the manual but had all that other stuff. But I believe I had a card only of this already, but it's good to get a almost complete copy. Alright, next I've got a couple Sega CD games, actually. This first one was only $1, so that's why I picked it up. It is a copy of Joe Montana's NFL Football. And I want to say, yeah, it even had the styrofoam in it, so just for the case and the styrofoam alone, well worth the $1. This next one was like $6 or $7. It's not the most interesting looking game, but it's got a really cool cover. I believe it's pronounced Heimdall, and it's got like a cool Viking on it and like the lightning and stuff, but also had styrofoam. It kind of looks like a, I don't know, like a dungeon crawling, horrible wannabe RPG, I guess, but it's just not that interesting looking, but regardless. Next here I got 4 Game Boy games. Picked all these up for just a couple bucks each. The first one is really fun, actually. It's Wario Blast, and this is a really odd collaboration game. It's Wario versus Bomberman, and you can play as either, and they both have the abilities of Bomberman. And so it's basically a Bomberman game with Wario in it. So if you guys see this for a good price, pick it up. It was really fun. My wife was even playing it, so really interesting game. Next one here was only $1. It's a greatest hits version or player's choice of Kirby's Pinball Land. Also told that's a really good game. Next one is another player's choice, but it is not the super rare NES version, which I do have, but it is DuckTales 2. So really cool to pick that up. And last but not least, we have Popeye 2. So really cool to pick up a couple more Game Boy games for the collection. I typically leave those upstairs in my bedroom, actually. My wife has the main access to them. She likes to take the handhelds on like vacations and stuff. So since I'm not a big handheld guy, I figure let her play the games. So I only keep the super rare ones away from her. Like I've got my copy of Ninja 5.0 down here. I'm not going to let her fiddle with that, but she pretty much has free reign of the Game Boy. This next one's a card-only game, and typically I don't buy card-only Genesis games, but I've heard good things about this series, and it was only $3. It's Wonder Boy in Monster World. So definitely excited to check that one out, see if it's as good as I think it is, and we shall see. Next here I got a couple, I guess you could call them sealed games. I believe this one had like a little tear in it somewhere. Yeah. This first one here is a Konami title. It's called Rave Master Special Attack Force. And as you can see, it's sealed. It's even got like the H seam and everything. But right here where there was a price tag, it looks like, I don't know if the store did it or what, but it was removed. But still technically sealed, so really cool. Another Game Boy game in the box to add to the collection. This next one's another Konami title. It's only $4. It's Death Jr. and the Science Fair of Doom. So I hear this is an interesting series, so for $4 I figured I'd take a chance. It looked pretty cool, and it's a Konami title. Alright, next I got a couple Dreamcast games. This first one here looks to be interesting. It's an online version. Hopefully you can play it offline. It's the Next Tetris Online Edition. And complete. Pretty good shape. This next one's in really good shape. It's got a really, really shiny case. Looks like hardly any shelfware or anything. It is Bust-A-Move 4. And it says it's from Club Acclaim. So I don't know if this is like a special edition, but as you can see there, it's got a foil cover, which is really, really cool. And complete and really good shape. Alright guys, two more games. As of last time I checked, this one was still available. If it is still available, I will link just link in the description below where you guys can just click and purchase it. It's a brand new DS game. Brand new as far as sealed, not like obviously it's not new. It came out in 2010, but apparently Walmart is clearing these out for under $5, so I picked one up. Basically what you do is you purchase it, and then you do the free site to store, and they ship it to the store for free, and you just pick it up. I think it's like $4.80. It is a Axis title, and it's River City Sports Challenge. And basically this is kind of like, it's got all the characters from River City Ransom, and they compete in like a whole bunch of sports events. So I thought for the under $5 ship that this was a pretty fair deal. So like I said, if the sale is still going on, if there's still some in stock, I will link down below where you guys can just click and buy and go on with it. So definitely check that out if it is available. If not, I do apologize. Last but not least, I picked this one up, and it's really a funny story on how I got this game. So basically, I am a huge fan of the Xenoblade Chronicles. I have it for the Wii. Great game. I think it's actually the best JRPG of this generation. I challenge people to argue with me. I'm sure people have their own preference, but in my opinion, that's the best JRPG in the last 5-6 years, no problem. And recently it came out on the Nintendo 3DS, and it's a new 3DS exclusive. As far as I know, the only exclusive for the new 3DS, at least as of when it came out. And I didn't want to purchase it. I don't like to pay, you know, like $45, $40, whatever, for a 3DS game right when it first comes out. But basically, back when I still collected Amiibos, I had a decent amount pre-ordered at Best Buy, and they went and they canceled my pre-orders. And I was quite upset at the time, but for each one they canceled, they gave me a $10 rewards card. And in my purchases, I'd actually saved up another $5 rewards card, so I had like $35. So I was able to purchase this for like $4 and change, and it is still sealed. I have my Wii version to play, so this is the Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, like I said, the exclusive for the new 3DS. And for like under $5, I thought, you know, what the hell, I will add this to the collection. So really cool to get that. It is Amiibo compatible. I believe it works with the Shulk Amiibo, but unfortunately I no longer own any Amiibos. I couldn't handle all the crazy fighting and arguing and people like undercutting each other and like little kids getting disappointed, and it just wasn't for me. It was a little too aggressive. I didn't enjoy it because it wasn't just adults, it was kids suffering, and I really don't care for that. You know, I mean, it's just a horrible situation. But anyways, guys, enough with the downer stuff. I was really happy to get that, and I appreciate you guys watching and sticking around to the end. And as always, take care.